Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next hour. Peace summit for Ukraine to kickstart in Switzerland. Leaders from several countries will be attending two-day conference to discuss Kyiv's peace plan. India formally starts cost negotiations with the French delegation for procurement of 26 Rafale Marine aircraft. 18th edition of Mumbai International Film Festival opens today. Around 60 countries participating through their films and other kind of engagements. In sports, Rohit Sharma led India to lock horns with Canada in their final group stage match of T20 Cricket World Cup. Switzerland hosts Peace Summit on June 15 and 16 in support of Ukrainian President Zelensky's peace proposals. US Vice President Kamala Harris, French President Emmanuel Macron, and the leaders of Germany, Italy, Britain, Canada, and Japan are among those set to attend the Peace Summit. Turkey and Hungary, which similarly maintain cordial ties with Russia, will be represented by their foreign ministers. But despite months of intense Ukrainian and Swiss lobbying, some others will not be there, most notably China, a key consumer of Russian oil and supplier of goods that help Moscow maintain its manufacturing base. Moscow, which has not been invited in the conference, has called the gathering futile. Russia has denounced the meeting and said that countries had been pushed to choose sides. Russian President Putin has also set out conditions for peace talks with Ukraine.
The conditions are very simple. Ukrainian troops must be completely withdrawn from the Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics, the Kherson and Zaporizhia regions, and I draw your attention from the entire territory of these regions, within the administrative borders that existed at the time of their entry into Ukraine. As soon as Kiev declares that it is ready for such a decision and begins the actual withdrawal of troops from these regions, as well as officially notifies that they abandon plans to join NATO, an order to cease fire and begin negotiations will immediately follow from our side, literally at the same minute.
Well, Giles Gibson, who's DD India correspondent, is joining me from Bari in Italy to give more on this. Now, Giles, what can we expect from this summit which is taking place?
Well, the G7 summit that's been taking place here in southern Italy is now wrapping up. We're expecting a final press conference in the next hour and a half or so with the Italian president, or the Italian Prime Minister, excuse me, Giorgia Meloni, who's been hosting G7 leaders, and many of them, including the US President Joe Biden, have already flown back home. And then we are really seeing the focus shifting to this peace summit taking place further north in Europe, in Switzerland. As you mentioned, there are some notable absentees, including the Russians themselves and the Chinese. There was hope in the build-up to this summit that the Chinese would be attending, if not the Russians. But you still do have some pretty significant voices sitting around that table, including the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris.
Okay, Giles. Now, how meaningful a peace summit could be without the other party, as Russia has not been invited, where around 90 countries and international institutions are expected to take part?
Well, really the aim of this summit is to try to get more countries on board with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's 10-point peace plan, which includes some items including the complete withdrawal of Russian troops from occupied areas of Ukraine, not just the areas that they've occupied in the last couple of years, but also those initial areas that they moved into in around about 2014. Volodymyr Zelensky has also for some time been calling for a special tribunal to be set up to investigate alleged war crimes by Russian troops inside Ukrainian territory. And then, as you mentioned, we have on the flip side the proposals from Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, on the eve of this peace summit, what he wants to see if there's going to be a ceasefire, saying that he wants to see all Ukrainian troops withdrawing from some of those occupied areas, such as the region of Kherson, and he's also called on Ukraine to drop its application to join the NATO alliance. So as this summit kicks off, we're seeing those two positions very, very far apart at this point.
Okay, Giles, White House has issued a statement wherein US Vice President Kamala Harris announces over 1.5 billion US dollars to bolster Ukraine's energy sector. What does this indicate?
Yeah, we've seen actually lots of that kind of support here at the G7 summit as well. The UK government announced a roundabout or just over 300 million US dollars of funding for Ukraine to rebuild its devastated energy infrastructure that's seen so many Russian strikes over the course of the winter and the spring. And we've also, of course, had that really significant breakthrough with the G7 leaders agreeing to release a $50 billion loan for Ukraine using the profits of frozen Russian assets in the West to sort of pay off the interest of that loan. So we're seeing again at this peace summit as well just more pledges of support for the Ukrainians, and also I think at the same time messages of defiance against Russia from Ukraine's partners in the West.
All right, thank you so much, Giles, for those updates. Thank you for your analysis. The leaders of the Group of Seven issued a communique called Apulia G7 Leaders Communique after G7 Summit in Italy. The leaders reiterated their support for Ukraine, stepping up a support to African countries and commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific based on the rule of law. Leader reiterated unwavering support for Ukraine by continuing providing military, budget, humanitarian and reconstruction support to Ukraine and its people. They reiterated condemnation of the brutal terrorist attacks conducted by Hamas and other terrorist groups against Israel on 7th of October 2023. The leaders committed to stepping up support to African countries in efforts to achieve sustainable development and local value creation, strengthen democratic governance, contribute to global stability and prosperity, and protect the rule-based international order. They also reiterate commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific based on the rule of law, which is inclusive, prosperous and secure, grounded on sovereignty, territorial integrity, peaceful resolution of disputes, fundamental freedoms and human rights. The leaders reiterated determination to address the triple global crisis of climate change, pollution and biodiversity loss. Russian President Vladimir Putin says Russia would cease fire and start talks if Ukrainian forces withdraw from 4 regions Moscow claimed as its own. Russia also wants Kyiv to drop its NATO ambition. Ukraine and the West dismissed these conditions, with NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg on Friday calling Putin's initiative a proposal for more aggression, more occupation. DD India's Dasha Cherneshova has more from Moscow.
Moscow warned that the responsibility for continued bloodshed in Ukraine lies with Kyiv and the West, as Russian President Vladimir Putin's ceasefire offer has been rejected. On Friday, Putin said Russia would be ready to order a ceasefire in Ukraine and enter negotiations with Ukraine if Kyiv withdrew its troops from 4 regions that Moscow now claims as its own: Lugansk and Donetsk People's Republics, as well as Zaporizhia and Kherson regions. Ukraine should also drop its aspirations to join NATO. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky called Putin's proposal an ultimatum which cannot be trusted. Moscow, however, says it is a real chance for peace. Until now, Moscow has insisted that any negotiations should take into account present-day realities. Putin explained that Moscow doesn't want to freeze the conflict, but instead to find a lasting solution. The proposal came as G7 leaders were meeting in Italy and ahead of the Ukrainian peace conference due in Switzerland. Moscow said it would be impossible to reach a peaceful solution on Ukraine and overall on global European security without Russia. Dasha Cherneshova in Moscow, reporting for DD India.
European Union ambassadors agreed on Friday formally to start accession negotiations with Ukraine and Moldova. The Belgian EU presidency said the negotiations will take place at intergovernmental conferences on June 25. Belgium, which holds the 6-month rotating presidency of the EU, said on social media post X that the decision should be officially cleared by finance and economy ministers meeting next Friday. Opening talks with the European Union would be a morale boost for Ukraine as Russia's forces are advancing in the Donetsk region and opening a new front in the northeastern region of Kharkiv. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has landed in New Delhi this morning after a productive day at G7 summit in Italy. Earlier, Prime Minister Modi in a social media post said, and I quote, "Had a very productive day at the G7 summit in Apulia, interacted with world leaders and discussed various subjects. Together, we aim to create impactful solutions that benefit the global community and create a better world for future generations. I thank the people and government of Italy for their warm hospitality." Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the outreach session on artificial intelligence, energy, Africa and the Mediterranean at the G7 summit in Apulia, Italy on Friday. Prime Minister expressed that it was a matter of great satisfaction for him to be attending the summit after his re-election in the largest democratic exercise in the history of humankind. He expressed that for technology to be successful, it had to be underpinned by a human-centric approach. In this context, he shared India's success in leveraging digital technology for public service delivery. Talking of India's AI mission premised on AI for all, Prime Minister emphasized that this technology should be aimed at fostering progress and well-being of all. He also underlined that with this broader objective, India was fostering international collaboration as a founding member of Global Partnership for AI. Prime Minister also elaborated on India's energy transition pathway, noting that its approach was based on availability, accessibility, affordability and acceptability. He mentioned that India was working towards achieving the target of net zero by 2070. Alluding to India's mission life, he called upon the global community to join the tree plantation campaign launched by him on World Environment Day, Plant for Mother. Prime Minister called for giving priority to the concerns of the Global South, in particular Africa. He recalled that it was a matter of honor for India that AU was admitted as a permanent member of the G20 under its presidency. Later, leaders from the world at the Outreach Nations session of the G7 summit posed for the family photo. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Situation in Darfur once again triggers alarm with significant rise in civilian casualties. After months, Kate, Princess of Wales, made her first public appearance at the Trooping the Colour 2024 parade on Saturday.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked, we just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. India has formally started the cost negotiations with the French delegation for the procurement of 26 Rafale Marine aircraft that will operate from its 2 aircraft carriers as per highly placed sources in India's Ministry of Defence. The approximate cost of the 26 naval Rafale jets is expected to be about 40,000 to 50,000 crores. dependent on the negotiations between the Indian and French sides. This will include the cost of aircraft besides missiles and maintenance of the aircraft. According to sources, the Indian side had invited the French side for the negotiations process and first round of talks. The French side includes Defense Ministry and industry partners, including Dassault Aviation and Thales. The focus of the government of India is likely to ensure that the government-to-government contract is signed within this fiscal for timely delivery of the much-needed Rafale Marines for India's aircraft carriers INS Vikrant and INS Vikramaditya, which currently operate MiG-29Ks for carrier-based operations. All right, and my colleague Akshay Dongre joins us for more. Akshay, Indian and French governments negotiating 26 Rafale Marine jet deal. What updates you have on this?
Well, this negotiation has been quite, awaited by the Indian Navy and the Indian Ministry of Defence as well, given the fact that the current fleet of all the aircraft carriers has a fleet of MiG-29Ks. Now, MiG-29Ks are also 4+ generation fighter jets. However, given the superior technology in Rafale M, this negotiation, if concluded and if carried on with, is going to provide a lot of lethal armament to the Indian Navy and enhance its operational capability, not just in the Indian Ocean region, but beyond as well. Now, we are looking at both the Indian government as well as the French government entering into negotiation and the industry partners as well, given the fact that Dassault and Thales, the corporations that are involved in the manufacturing of Rafale M, are also involved in this cost negotiation. So, the estimated cost that has been given by French is somewhere around 50,000 crore rupees, which is a huge amount. However, the negotiations right now is about cost. The Indian government as well as the French government are trying to negotiate the deal to come at a better deal for the Indian Navy. Now, this is not just the cost of bare aircraft. It includes maintenance of the aircraft for the service ceiling of a lot of years. Then it also includes the armament that is going to be used and the best technology that has been upgraded in the Rafale M fighter jets. Now, the Indian Air Force already has a fleet of 36 Rafales that it has been using for the past few years, and now for the aircraft carriers that India operates, including INS Vikramaditya and INS Vikrant, upgrade of the aircraft that are to be used from these carrier-based operations, was being sought for a long time. There were several shortlisted aircraft. We were looking at Tejas naval variant as well, which is still undergoing trials. Then among the shortlisted aircraft were F-18 that have been used by the US Navy as well. However, the finalist in this negotiation as far as the other shortlisted candidates was the Rafale M. Now, it gives you a lot of advantages given the fact that the Indian Air Force already operates Rafale, so it is aware of the ecosystem that is required to operate these aircraft. And if the Indian Navy adopts the similar kind of aircraft as well, then it already gets advantage of known technological know-hows of the operation of this aircraft by the Indian Air Force as well. Back to you, Siddharth.
Okay, Akshay, negotiations going on, huge cost involved. How will this enhance India's defense capabilities? You were just mentioning that. Can you elaborate it a bit?
Well, absolutely. Now, an aircraft carrier is not of much use if there are no aircrafts in it. That's quite a simple terminology used by the defense forces as well. Now, India has already two operational aircraft carriers, that is INS Vikramaditya and INS Vikrant. Now, both of these can accommodate up to 36 aircraft, and we are talking about the fighter jets that can be operated from these two aircraft carriers. We currently have a fleet of about 40 MiG-29Ks that were being procured by the Indian Navy in the early 2000s. In fact, from 2004, the induction of MiG-29K started, that were bought rather from Russia, in fact. And moving on now with the new aircraft carrier INS Vikrant, which is indigenously developed, the Indian Air Force, the Indian Navy and the Ministry of Defence sought a requirement of more modern aircraft. And while the Indian defence industry is also developing its own indigenous aircraft, that is TED-BF, that is a deck-based aircraft carrier, somewhat similar to what we use in the Indian Air Force, that is the Tejas aircraft. So while the wait for that is going on, for TED-BF, we are awaiting, we have, if we get these Rafale M's, that is going to fill the gap that will be there till the time TED-BF get approval from and the flight operations are completed and the mass manufacturing of those aircraft start. So we do not need a lot of aircraft, but we need enough aircraft to accommodate on these two aircraft carriers that in any case can come in handy as far as operations are concerned. Now we have seen that in the Indian Ocean region, in the Indo-Pacific region, the Indian Navy's operational capabilities have been enhanced by the increasing number of warships, the increasing number of aircraft carriers, and we are also, maybe in the process of getting a third aircraft carrier, which will require further aircrafts for the operation process. So these Rafale M's, if bought from France, are going to fill that gap that currently exists right now. And these aircraft are some of the best in the world. So if acquired and if the cost negotiations are, when the cost negotiations are over and when the deal comes through, it is going to enhance the operational capabilities of the Indian Navy, which can operate these aircraft from both of the aircraft carriers that it operates right now.
Okay, thanks for analysis, Akshay. Well, an exciting chapter unfolds for foreign universities in India. With the commencement of academic session of the first international university in India, Australia's Deccan University, which has set up its branch campus at Gift City in Gujarat, will welcome the first cohort of its students in July. Here's a report.
With 2 postgraduate programs and first cohort of 60 students, Australia's Deccan University is set to commence its academic session from 3rd of July. Located in the heart of Gujarat International Finance Tech City, it is a landmark initiative depicting the collaboration of Indian and Australian governments in the education sector.
We are looking forward to having our first cohort of students in the month of July. We have received over 7,000 expressions of interest from students. We are currently offering 2 programs, one in cybersecurity and the other in business analytics. Both are master's courses. Currently, we have got faculties on board, and some of the faculties are going to be based here locally, and they're going to be full-time on campus. They will be supported by faculty flying in and out of Australia. And here we want to cater to those students who are at that level of having some experience and do not have the resources or the means or the time to go for an overseas education. In terms of the tuition fees, the programs are going to cost 50% of what they would cost in Australia.
Students are also finding this a better alternative because of its cost effectiveness, in-campus experience and vicinity to the Gift City.
Whenever a university is near to the headquarters of such big companies, it always helps in placements, corporate relations and everything. Plus, the thing is, it is not just admission office or something like that. It is a full-fledged campus for us.
I chose to stay in India and study at Deccan because I thought I wanted to be in the ecosystem of Gift City. It has a lot of benefits being here, being local. Firstly, I do want to settle in India, so that is a big advantage. And already having studied abroad, I studied in Italy for 3 years. I do recognize the quality of education that an international university can offer. I believe it's a great initiative. So a lot of students might not be able to afford education abroad, and this is a more reasonable option.
Industry and corporates have already started showing interest to rope in students for internship programs.
So we are starting to meet the requirements starting from Gift City, and then we are expanding to the Gujarat top industries and corporates, then aiming for the Indian top talent requirements from Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Pune, Gurgaon, Noida, apart from few other areas, and then we are planning for globally as well.
Just an 11-month journey from inception of the idea to the opening of the university shows the swiftness and determination of the governments to strengthen collaboration in the education sector. With the entry of first foreign university to the GIFT IFSC, the stage will be set for many more institutions of global repute to open campuses in India and deliver world-class education for Indian students with reduced cost proposition and increased exposure and employment opportunities. Meghna Dev's report for DD India.
Fears that armed groups in Sudan are committing war crimes have been mounting for months now. And The paramilitary group, the Rapid Support Forces, has been accused again of the ethnic cleansing in Darfur. The paramilitary group, like I said, and the latest clashes have been raging since the beginning of May. DD India's Naba Mohideen reports from Port Sudan. Have a look.
This is not the first time that the Rapid Support Forces has been accused of racially motivated crimes. The group committed a massacre against the non-Arab population of Western Darfur last year, known as the Masalit tribe. The battle for control of Darfur involves a switch of allegiance. The militia was formed under Sudan's former ruler Omar al-Bashir. Now the RSF is fighting the Sudanese army. The largest scale battle now is in North Darfur state.
El Fasher is a turning point in the conflict between the army and the paramilitary forces. It's the last stronghold for the army and will be the beginning of freeing the other Darfur states which fell for the militia. It's important for the militia as it seeks controlling the Darfur region as a negotiation card against the government.
Since war broke out in Sudan over a year ago, the RSF has seized large parts of the capital Khartoum, the central Sudan region, and 4 out of 5 states of Darfur. That's caused the world's largest displacement crisis and a very complex humanitarian catastrophe.
The International Criminal Court, the ICC, is now looking for evidence of alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity committed by the RSF in Darfur.
Those crimes include killings, abductions, and human trafficking. The paramilitary group is also accused of intentionally shelling populated areas with heavy artillery, forcing residents to flee. It has denied the accusations and accused the Sudanese military instead.
The Rapid Support Forces is targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure with artillery. Health centers, hospitals, water supply plants are all targeted, and it increases the death toll and casualties. Urgent actions are needed to help thousands there.
Earlier this month, the RSF attacked a village in central Sudan, killing over 200 civilians and injuring dozens. Despite international and regional calls for restraint, the RSF continues its offensive against civilians in many Sudanese cities, which are already overburdened with widespread displacement. Naba Mohideen, reporting from Port Sudan in Sudan for DD India.
The Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, made her first public appearance at the Trooping the Colour 2024 parade on Saturday. In a first public event 5 months after surgery revealed the presence of cancer, she accompanied her 3 children in a carriage during the royal family parades. It's an annual event that marks the official birthday of the British sovereign. This event has been taking place for over 260 years. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Celebrating a timeless practice of yoga with oneness and harmony. Gujarat's Smritivan Earthquake Memorial Museum in Bhuj joins UNESCO's most beautiful museums list.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. A quick recap of the headlines. Peace Summit for Ukraine to kickstart in Switzerland. Leaders from several countries will be attending two-day conference to discuss Kyiv's peace plan. 18th edition of Mumbai International Film Festival opens today. A grand inauguration will take place shortly in Mumbai. Around 60 countries participating through their films and other kind engagements. In sports, Rohit Sharma led India to lock horns with Canada in their final group stage match of T20 Cricket World Cup. Shifting focus to Sri Lanka, where Sri Lanka's Department of Census and Statistics has said that its GDP has grown by 5.3% in the first quarter of 2024. This is a positive growth for the island nation following an economic crisis that led to the depletion of its Forex reserves. Sri Lanka had defaulted on external debt commitments in April 2022. During its economic crisis, India had assisted Sri Lanka with over $4 billion as part of its Neighbourhood First policy. Sri Lanka also secured a $2.9 billion package from the International Monetary Fund to support its recovery. And now all the updates on the 18th edition of Mumbai International Film Festival. The 18th edition of Mumbai International Film Festival for short films, documentary and animation films will kickstart from today onwards. A grand inauguration will take place in the evening at around 6 p.m. IST, marking the commencement of a cinematic celebration that promises to captivate audiences and industry professionals alike. This year, at the 18th MIF, we have received over 300 films from 59 countries in 61 languages. The opening film Billy and Molly and Otter Love Story has been showcased at MIF. Around 60 countries are participating through their films and other kind of engagements in the film festival. Wildlife filmmaker Subbiah Nalamuthu to be bestowed with prestigious Dr. V. Shantaram Lifetime Achievement Award. This was announced by India's Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, L. Murugan, in an exclusive conversation with DD India correspondent Shama Mishra on the sidelines of Mumbai International Film Festival.
Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Dr. L. Murugan is with us, and Mumbai International Film Festival has begun from today. So it's the 18th edition and you are here. What is different this time and what all we have in stock this time?
See, this 18th Mumbai International Film Festival is a very important film festival worldwide because in the field of documentary, animation and short films. So this is the very, very important film festival. This film festival is every 2 years is happening in Mumbai. So this year our not only Mumbai we are screening, so almost 1,000 screening, 1,000 movies are entry received from the world. Almost 38 countries they are participating, 59 language movies, these short movies, documentary movies and animation movies are registered, and these are also our juries, international juries, national juries. They are also watching and they are also screening. Throughout, they are screening in Mumbai, they are screening in Chennai, they are screening in Delhi, they are screening in Kolkata, they are screening in Pune. So the various places the screening also taking place. This film festival, first time the bazaar also introduced here, film bazaar. The film people that can come and they can get more business to business, marketing facility and content exchanges. So like facilities also available here. And this year I want to announce here with in this, every year in this film festival, V. Shantaram Lifetime Achievement Award is going to give. This year our juries are very carefully, they considered and they selected one eminent wildlife filmmaker, Mr. Subbiah Nalamuthu. He selected for this award. So this prestigious award he is getting. I congratulate Mr. Subbiah Nalamuthu to get this award. So I congratulate him also. And this film festival is enhanced for this V. Shantaram award.
All right, DD India's the Shama Mishra joins us from Mumbai. Shama, 18th edition of Mumbai International Film Festival. I'm sure lots and lots of excitement there amongst the cinema enthusiasts.
Well, Siddharth, you've already mentioned that over 300 films will be showcased over the span of next 7 days. So the total number is 314, and say about 59 countries are participating in it. So Mumbai International Film Festival is not just about Mumbai, it's not just about India. It is about filmmaking, and it is about filmmaking of the entire world. We also have about 61 languages, so the filmmakers can watch movies in a host and in a selected almost to all languages. That is 61. That's a huge number. We are also understanding there will be several world premieres, international premieres, Asian premieres, and Indian premieres as well. So this time it is big, better, and as we all say for International Film Festival of India that is held in Goa every year. This film festival is also growing bigger each 2 years, because this is something we celebrate every 2 years. So what is new this time around is that for the first time a documentary film bazaar will be held, and wherein the sponsors, the distributors, they can come together and talk about the business. So something related to business is also organized over here. This entire particular place is accessible to all. So, specially abled Divyang Jan can come and watch the movies as well. It is accessible to them. So we'll be having movies which can be watched by the hearing impaired. There'll be descriptions, so the visually impaired can also be experiencing the movie. And simultaneously this film festival will be held in 5 cities. So Delhi, Kolkata, Pune, these venues will also be hosting all the movies that is going on, and also about masterclass and in conversation sessions. Siddharth.
Definitely, Shama. This has been a significant year for Indian cinema in Cannes, with so many awards and global recognition. Shama, when we talk of MIF, it also provides an amazing platform to budding filmmakers to showcase their talent. How is this helping Indian film industry to reach greater heights?
Well, Siddharth, for starters, we can understand, you've already mentioned about Cannes Film Festival. So the movie Sunflowers were the first ones to know. It's a documentary, it's a short film by the FTII students, and this has won the best film in the documentary of La Cinef category at the Cannes Film Festival. This is going to be showcased at the inaugural ceremony, which is going to be held at around 6 p.m.
Correct.
So lots and lots of action there as well. So these students, the student filmmakers would also be coming. Now we understand that platforms like Cannes Film Festival is a huge platform for already, the established filmmakers as well as the budding filmmakers.
Correct.
Here in Mumbai International Film Festival, particularly, we talk about the budding filmmakers, the short filmmakers, documentary filmmakers, because this is one platform wherein you won't see feature films, you will see documentaries, and you will see short films. So this is totally dedicated particularly to empower and to boost and to give create awareness for the short films, for the documentaries. So they can come over here, they can present their movies, and as I've mentioned that there'll be filmmakers from all across the world. They can understand what potential India has, because we already speak a lot about creating India as the content hub of the world, the content creator of the world, and we are born storytellers. So every place you go, every region you go, you will have best of the storytellers. So this is one platform wherein the short films or the documentaries can come out, and their potential, their talent can be showcased to the world. And from here on, we are talking about various film festivals. Their films can travel the international film festivals, and that's how the boost that we always talk about to the budding filmmakers that will be provided over here. So this can act as a platform which will give them a boost, which can give them a career growth path, and everything which is to do about creating a boost, creating a upward platform for them.
All right, thank you so much for your analysis, Shama. We'll keep taking updates from you on this. Now some good news as far as rail connectivity to the beautiful and scenic Kashmir Valley is concerned. The train service from Sangaldan to Riyasi via the world's highest railway bridge built on the river Chenab will begin soon. The Udhampur-Srinagar-Baramulla rail link project will be completed by year end according to Indian Railways. The USBRL project, including the 48.1 kilometers long Banihal-Sangaldan section, was inaugurated by PM Narendra Modi on 20th of February 2024. Phase 1 of the project, covering the 118 kilometers long Kazigund-Baramulla section, was inaugurated in October 2009. Subsequent phases saw the inauguration of the 18-kilometer-long Banihal-Kazigund section in June 2013 and the 25-kilometer-long Udhampur-Katra section in July 2014.
The project was very challenging. People being affected by these projects are all very happy. We hope everything will be completed soon.
This is an engineering marvel of the modern world. The day when the train will reach Riyasi will be a game-changing day for the district. It is a proud moment for us, as our engineers have created a marvel. The exact date cannot be said, but I hope the day comes soon.
In a remarkable achievement, the Smritivan Earthquake Memorial Museum in Bhuj, Kutch district has been awarded the third spot in UNESCO's prestigious recognizing, as it is one of the world's 7 most beautiful museums. That's by UNESCO. Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel celebrated this significant accomplishment, calling it a proud moment for both Gujarat and India. The Smritivan Earthquake Memorial Museum secured the third spot on the prestigious list. Inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on August 28, 2022, the Smritivan Earthquake Memorial Museum commemorates the lives lost during the devastating earthquake in 2001. According to the museum's official website, the facility spans 11,500 square meters and is divided into 7 thematic blocks: rebirth, rediscover, restore, rebuild, rethink, relieve, and renew, each representing a different aspect of the museum's mission. The World Health Organization has designated the National Institute of Indian Medical Heritage, Hyderabad, a unit under the Central Council for Research in Ayurvedic Sciences, Ministry of Ayush, as a WHO collaborating center for fundamental and literary research in traditional medicine. This prestigious recognition is granted for a period of 4 years, starting from June 3, 2024. Established in 1956, NIIMH Hyderabad is a unique institution dedicated to documenting and showcasing medico-historical research in Ayurveda, yoga, naturopathy, Unani Siddha, Sova Rigpa, homeopathy, biomedicine and other related healthcare disciplines in India. Aligning with the vision of India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi for attaining energy independence by 2047 and to ensure self-reliance in coal, the Ministry of Coal and Mines will launch the 10th round of commercial coal block auctions during the next week. The Union Minister of Coal and Mines, G. Kishan Reddy, has directed that the complete transparency and revenue maximization should be ensured. During 10th round of auction, about 62 blocks are likely to be offered without end-user restrictions. Coal produced from these commercial blocks is permitted to be sold by allocatee in free market. And at least 13 people were killed after a tempo traveller carrying around 24 passengers fell into a gorge at the Alaknanda River in Rudraprayag district of the North Indian state of Uttarakhand on Saturday. 7 people in critical condition were airlifted to AIIMS in Rishikesh, while 7 others were taken to the district hospital. Police officials and disaster management teams are carrying out relief and rescue operations. The Union Minister Amit Shah and Uttarakhand's Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami have expressed their condolences over the incident. Let's take a look at other stories making news. Chief Minister of Northern Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, held a review meeting with officials on Saturday. CM Adityanath discussed development work and the law and order situation in the state. Amid the water crisis in India's national capital, New Delhi, Chief Whip Dilip Pandey wrote to Union Water Minister C.R. Patil seeking intervention and coordination with North Indian states to provide more water to Delhi. The letter indicated a request for meeting on behalf of Delhi's MLAs. A series of IED, including 30 kilograms explosives and 1 cooker bomb, were recovered by security forces on Saturday in Bijapur district in Indian state of Chhattisgarh. The devices were recovered in a joint operation by the district force and bomb disposal squad of the 231 Battalion CRPF. A massive fire broke out in two companies in Noida's Sector 67 in the northern Indian state of Uttar Pradesh on Saturday. Firefighting operations are underway with at least 8 fire tenders at the spot. No casualties have been reported. And still to come on DD India News Hour. India likely to attract about $50 billion in investments because of production-linked incentives.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts, we demystify complex social, political and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. India's Forex reserves jumped $4.307 billion to a new all-time high of $656 billion for the week ended June 7, the Reserve Bank of India on Friday. The previous record for the reserves, which serve as a crucial buffer against external sector disturbances, was $648.87 billion on May 10. Expressed in dollar terms, foreign currency assets reflect the impact of the appreciation or depreciation of non-US currencies such as the euro, pound and yen held in the reserves. You're watching DD India News Hour. Time now for sport, and India will face Canada in their final Group A encounter of the ICC T20 World Cup at the Central Broward Regional Park Stadium in Florida. With India already through to Super 8 stage, all eyes will be on star batter Virat Kohli. India's management will hope that the trip from New York to Florida brings a turnaround in his fortunes.
It's another David versus Goliath battle. India will face Canada in their final Group A encounter. With India already through to the Super 8 stage, all eyes will be on star batter Virat Kohli, whose current form is a concern. India's batting lineup has been propped up by Rishabh Pant and Surya Kumar Yadav, with Pant scoring crucial runs against Ireland and Pakistan and Surya Kumar finding form with a 50 against USA. Meanwhile, the bowling unit led by Jasprit Bumrah, Hardik Pandya and Arshdeep Singh has been formidable. Pandya and Arshdeep in particular have been impressive. The game against Canada might see some changes in India's bowling department. Kuldeep Yadav or Yuzvendra Chahal could replace Jadeja or Akshar Patel to prepare for the spin-friendly pitches expected in the Caribbean during the Super 8 stages.
We are slightly aware of the conditions what we get. Yes, the weather is a challenging year. You don't know about when the rain comes and all, but we've been prepared for all these things. So we are focusing on what we can control, and at this point of the time we can't control the weather conditions, so we're trying to prepare ourselves the best possible way, but we want a game to happen.
Canada, making their tournament debut, are still in the hunt for a Super 8 spot, but face a tough challenge against this superior Indian side. Opener Aaron Johnson and his team have shown determination. However, halting India's momentum could be a daunting task.
Yeah, we have done really well against test match playing nation, which is Ireland. We won the game, and Pakistan also, they managed to win the game on the 17th over. It's not a joke or something, but Canada team is really doing well. It's just that we need that experience.
Adding to the uncertainty, the weather in Florida poses a potential disruption, with the parts of the state, including nearby Miami, experiencing torrential rain and flash floods from tropical storm. The organizers are keenly watching the skies, hoping for clear weather to showcase cricket in the American market. As India gears up for this match, fans will be hoping for clear skies and a return to form for Virat Kohli, ensuring a smoother path into the Super 8s and beyond. With Campus and Shashaka, this is Apush Bhattacharya for DD India from Florida.
All right, and DD India correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya joins us from Florida. Hello Tapas, first things first, tell us the weather report. Will the match take place?
Well, that's $1 million question, Siddharth. A lot of people are talking about the fact that the weather conditions aren't that great. yesterday also, when the weatherman almost pulled off a miracle when it comes to the particular match between USA and Ireland. The weather, the skies opened up, and it was a torrential rain for 20 minutes with the gusty winds, which saw the match getting postponed. Here also, if I can just show you this particular app that they have in Florida, which actually tracks the the weather pattern. I just wanted to show you this particular app. Here you can see at in the morning from 8 to 10 a.m. there is a considerable chances of rainfall activity that one can see. Now, as per this particular app, we have been told that 65 to 25% at around 9 a.m. That is a local time here. There is a 65% chances of rainfall activity, and around 10 a.m. there is a 25% rainfall chances. If that happens, we might have to say goodbye to the chances of India's last league encounter here in Florida. In fact, we spoke to the locals out here.
Tapas, the weather impact can also be seen on the camera lens.
Yeah, you can see that
you are hardly visible, Tapas. You are hardly visible because of the weather. It's all foggy.
Yes, I can understand. Let me just tell my camera person to just clean the lens. It's very it's getting foggy. Now can you see me? If you can, I can ask you.
It's good now, Tapas.
Yeah,
it's good. You're good to go.
Yeah, so that's the whole problem with the condition out here.
Yeah.
We go out and we see suddenly everything, the lenses, everything goes to fog, and people out here, they spoke to us and they said that in the last 80 years they haven't seen this kind of weather activity, this particular tropical disturbance that actually struck the coast of Florida. In fact, emergency was declared in parts of Florida, which also consists of Fort Lauderdale, which is where this particular tournament is currently happening. Now, I just wanted to put it across in the last 80 years, consecutively 3 to 4 days, the rainfall activity hasn't happened like this. So people are saying that this is a bit of a freak kind of a weather that has took place in this particular period. Now, coming back to Fort Lauderdale, this is a very important place. In fact, they consider this to be the cricket capital of US, because of the first time a cricket stadium was built. It was built in this particular area. So a lot of community people, Indian diaspora, Canadian diaspora, they are here. The Jamaican diaspora is a very strong out here, so they want to come and visit and watch India's superstars play here in this particular ground. But doesn't look like that's going to happen if the weather stays like this.
All right, thank you so much, Tapas, for your analysis.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated.
Canada's wicketkeeper and vice-captain Shreyas was born in India. Unlike others, he did not migrate to Canadian shores in search of playing cricket, but instead wanted to study. He's a software engineer by profession. It was a difficult period for him during COVID, where he used to work as Uber Eats. Mova made his debut for Canada in 2021 and is looking forward to play against India in the last league match of T20 World Cup. Our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya spoke to him.
Canada's wicket batsman Shreyas Mova to talk about the impending match against India. It's a match that everybody is looking forward to at your place. India has already qualified, but you guys are confident of your match against India?
Yeah, we are confident about the match against India.
Tell us more about you. You used to play in India also?
Yes, I used to play in Karnataka. I used to represent in the Pro Bowls team, and then I moved to Canada for higher studies. I did my master's in software engineering.
Then you work there. Now you're working there and playing cricket. So semi-pro. How difficult it is for a player? For people, I want to tell them it's not an easy job, isn't it? To work and then come back and do practice.
Yes, it's not an easy job. Cricket Canada has supported me. My coach has supported me in the way that I can attend the interviews or meetings I can attend, and then I can come to the practice.
Just wanted to know from you how confident is a Canadian team. You guys have done reasonably well. Probably couldn't go through that particular part in different matches. Isn't it?
Yeah, we have done really well against Test match playing nation, which is Ireland. We won the game, and Pakistan also, they managed to win the game on the 17th over. Canada team is really doing well. It's just that we need that experience.
That it's high time that Canada do play more professional cricket, especially with test playing occasions.
Yeah, we just got the ODI status in the last year. So if we do well in that cycle, we will get an opportunity to go into the World Cups, and then other countries will definitely visit us to play the matches.
Last question, in Indian team, who are the batters or bowlers you are looking forward to, or you guys have made plans for?
Obviously, every batsman we have to make a good plan against the India team. We are coming up with a good team. So we have a plan for every player. So we're keeping up with that. So main players, obviously, Virat Kohli.
Much appreciated, Duran. So that was the wicketkeeper batsman of Canadian team. Very confident of their performance against India. With Carlson, S. Jaishankar, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for DD India from Florida.
From RCB to USA, meet Milind Kumar, who once played alongside Virat Kohli and is now a key player for the USA team. The team has advanced to the Super 8 stage and is optimistic about causing another major upset in the tournament. Watch this special interview with Milind by DD India correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya.
Joining me is Milind, who has played an important role in USA's team's performance. In fact, they have now moved to the Super 8 stage. Milind, how has been your experience? You guys have made everyone sit up and take note of your team here.
What we have worked for 3 years now, it's like coming true. What we've talked about in the meetings and everything, and we have done the whole hard work behind the scenes, is like coming true now.
So is it like a dream come true, isn't it?
Obviously.
Tell me something. You played in Delhi, you played from Solent Club, played some IPL also. How did the whole scenario change from Delhi to Florida or New York?
Playing in India and playing here, it's altogether a different feeling. Meeting new people and coming all together from a different background now, and joining new teammates is like a new feeling. But
difficult. The transition was difficult.
A little bit, but eventually you know that what you have to do. You have to play cricket, and that's all you have to do.
You were working here when you came here, or was it you came here to play cricket only?
No, to play cricket only.
Tell me something. You guys have made it to the Super 8. How do you guys now see yourself? You guys have done giant killing in the league stage. You have all upset Pakistan. You almost came close with the India match. Now Super 8 is altogether different ball game.
We are looking forward to the combinations what we have, and like whatever the best we can do and whatever the best we can utilize. We're looking forward to it.
Looking forward to playing in Caribbean.
Absolutely.
Alright, so that was Milind looking forward to playing in the Caribbean. They have qualified for the Super 8 stages of the ICC T20 World Cup 2024, and it will be a Herculean task for them as they go into the Super 8 stage. With Carlson, S. Jaishankar, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for DD India from Florida.
And now to all the updates on the International Yoga Day, which will be celebrated on 21st of June. Yoga camps are being organized across the northwestern Indian state of Rajasthan ahead of the International Yoga Day on 21st of June. A yoga camp convened at Agrasen Nagar in Churu district, drawing a substantial crowd of youth, women, men and children eager to participate in yoga sessions. Yoga practice is being conducted under the guidance of Yogacharya Dr. Santra Jat. This camp at Agrasen Nagar will continue until June 20th. So do yoga and stay healthy. That's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.
We just don't bring